Graham Rawlins with News Geelong. SEGRA, the Sustainable Economic Growth for Regional Australia, held its 15th National 3-Day Conference in Geelong, continuing to provide a strong voice for regional Australia, with the Honourable Simon Crean, Federal Minister for Regional Australia, leading an all-star cast of highly regarded subject professionals. Geelong may become a digital dream, a community that is a living hotspot for business, residents, students and tourists if made part of the national broadband network. And later in the program, we'll update you with the latest in sport and weather from Geelong and the Surf Coast. The Friends of the Geelong Botanic Gardens are into their 26th year and have its biennial exhibition of selected artworks titled Inspired by Nature on show at the Geelong Gallery, as Meryl Friend reports.
Friends of the Botanical Gardens have their latest exhibition on at the Gordon Gallery. It is Inspired by Nature. It's run every 2 years and it runs until the 30th of October.
It's the third in our exhibition, which we hold every second year, and it's the most amazing expression of when science meets culture and personal expression. The work on the walls some of it has been worked over by 2 years by the artists. It takes some time for these works to develop. If a flower is wilting, then they put it away and they pick it up again the following year. So that's why every 2 years. We've got over 24 artists exhibiting here today, and we hold classes at the gardens during school terms. So if people are interested, they can come along and participate. Some of our artists are internationally known for their work, and others are just beginners, so we actually appeal to every level. We're really keen to have people come along. It's not just about pretty flowers, it's also about science.
The offerings we've got today, there are more than 80 paintings and pencil sketches, so I'm looking forward to having a really good look around.
And they're all Geelong people, they're all local artists, some are brand new at it and some are in their 80s.
Do you know, exhibitions like this are really, really important. They predated the invention of the camera, because if you go right back to the early beginnings of white settlement in Australia and white exploration in Australia, of course cameras weren't invented. So when Banks took his wonderful sketches back to England, people could not believe the diversity of the trees and the plants here in Australia. So that, you know, it's a very, very important exhibition. In the United Kingdom, in the early, I think it was around about 2008. The English spent £3 million in establishing a very important gallery at the Kew Gardens.
And you can contact the Botanical Gardens on www.friendsgbg.org.au. I'm Meryl Friend for News Geelong.
Thank you, Meryl. Kids Play circus programs are 100% activity and 100% of the time, and are totally unlike any other training facility in Geelong, as all students learn basic core gymnastic skills which are integral to circus. Debbie Meaney has more.
Kids Place here in Breakwater is part of one of the Kids Week's activities. I caught up with some of those involved here at the circus school.
So fortunate enough to work with the children here, and today is a special day where we're able to showcase the children's works and inviting a bit of the public and families to come and share the experience of the kids.
And some of these kids have been here for only 3 weeks, some probably a little bit longer, I would imagine.
Yeah, we've got a few students that have been here for a long time, some long-term students, and the students that I've just had just before, the 2 girls doing the hoops, they've only been here for about 4 weeks and only really worked on this routine for 3 weeks, so they've done a wonderful job today. I'm very proud of them.
I started training with Kids Place about 3 years ago, and I've never looked back. It's just lots of fun and I really enjoy it, so just lots of practice really.
And you've done gymnastics or something before perhaps?
No, nothing like that. I actually did swimming before this, and then I saw an ad in the newspaper, thought I'd come along and try it and really loved it. So yeah.
And you're now teaching as well?
Yeah, I'm an instructor here at Kids Place and I help with the little kids come up with their routines and stuff and teach them different gymnastics and acrobatic things. So.
And what's the future look for you?
I'd like to keep performing as long as I can after school's finished. I know something in circus would be really good.
This is Debbie Meaney at Kids Place for News Geelong.
Geelong is developing a digital strategy and has begun the process of engaging with National Broadband Network Company, as well as our regional institutions and industry bodies, on the rollout as Meryl Friend reports.
We're here at City Hall and you can hear the buzz in the room. Everybody's all excited and talking about the high-speed national broadband that, if gets put across Geelong, all the different ways that it could be used for transport, for education, for medicine and so many other areas. We were able to talk with Councillor Rod McDonald and also Mark Keel from Chattanooga, who's put this system in place over there, which is a very similar sized city to Geelong.
Last June I was over in New York for a Intelligent Communities conference, the annual conference, and we heard Chattanooga's story, and they were one of the top 7 cities in the world for the use of broadband, and so having seen their experience and heard about their experience, I thought it'd be a terrific opportunity to have Mark speak in Geelong to let people in this region understand what the benefits of broadband will bring.
Population size, the energy of the people of the city are the same. There's a lot of similarities, and during my presentation today you'll notice I'm doing some history where we had a lot of industry and et cetera, and actually renovated from the industry side to actually make it people friendly, which is following the almost exact same guidelines as Geelong.
So when we're talking about digital direction for the Geelong community, this has already taken place in Chattanooga. You've had a big part in that?
Yes, my title is Chief Information Officer. Basically, I introduce myself as Chief Geek. Definitely, in discussions I've had, what fibre can do is just mind-boggling as far as what you can do when you put that type of infrastructure in. And we've already realized that we predict it'll be bigger than major interstates and roadway systems, that doing a fibre infrastructure like this can have an effect on a city. Depending on how Geelong implements or the Australia implements it, our citizens, what we've realized is the delivery of fantastic TV quality. That's the first impact. But then they start noticing no matter where they are within the city, they're connected up to with all their electronic devices, whether it's phones, computers, tablets. And then the other side is there's as I'm going to do in my presentation, we have 56 different applications that we've already started using of sensors that actually affect quality of life, such as water quality, immediate notification of traffic problems. So it's almost what it affects a community is, like I said, is mind-boggling. It's just what we can dream up with.
And if we were to go ahead with this type of infrastructure, what sort of time frame would we be looking at?
We did it in 2 years. So if you take longer than 2 years, you lose. So I would suggest, since somebody's already done it, you could do it in less than 2 years.
From City Hall, Meryl Friend, News Geelong.
Thank you, Meryl. This is News Geelong on this Friday evening as we go to a break and return with more news after this.